You're no fun.
What? I'm fun.
Oh, you sweet man-faced girl. You're not fun. I was having fun, and then I saw you and my fun went soft.
Well, hello there, and thank you for joining me in this very special Kirby's Adventure episode. That's right, folks, it's a ranking episode to tie the game together, just like I do with pretty much every game I ever play on this channel. Today's episode is a basic one. I couldn't resist it, though. I'm ranking copy abilities based purely on how fun they are. So while I do acknowledge that the more efficient ones at killing enemies are fun, and that is a part of it, there are going to be other elements of fun that I will be ranking, just like, you know, how much I enjoy using it. This is gonna be a very personal list, and if you don't like it, then you can yeah. Or not, you can stay too. That would be even better if you stayed. And just, liked it anyway?
Please?
I would like to note that I've actually done this topic before. I ranked the funness of the copy abilities in Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, but I thought it would be kind of a nice tie-in to do it in this game too, because this is kind of like a little spiritual prequel to that game. Kirby's Dreamland didn't have any copy abilities, so this one feels more like Return to Dreamland than Kirby's Dreamland did, strangely enough.
Funny how that happened.
This intro has been a mess. I really don't have a lot to say on this topic. Just come join me in this ranking video. With that in mind, let's get started. Now, of course, before I start the actual ranking process, I do need to go through the title of my different tiers because I renamed the tiers, because I'm like that, because I'm annoying, and you can't do anything about it. I decided the best names for these tiers was just going to be items that you can find in the game itself. So, starting from the top tier, we have 1-Up. My favorite thing in the game, because it means that I don't have to game over.
Sound reasoning.
The next tier down, we have a Maxim Tomato. I love me a Maxim Tomato because it restores all your health. I think it's all your health. If it's not all, it's a substantial amount, but I'm pretty sure it's all. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm bound to be wrong more often than I am to be right. In the middle tier is an energy drink. I do think I'm doing energy drink a little dirty by naming this tier that, because this tier is actually supposed to be more like mid-tier, and energy drink I still actually am quite fond of. It only gives you 2 health heals, you know, like 2 thingies, but it's still better than nothing. I will always take a health heal. I'd take 1 point and still be happy. Although please keep it at 2 points. The Kirby devs I know are watching this.
Shut it down!
The next tier down is the Wispy Woods Apple. Now this is again why I think I kind of did energy drink dirty, because this is a big step in quality difference. The Wispy Woods Apple not only doesn't heal you at all, but it also hurts you. So I really should have put something neutral in the energy drink spot, but you tell me what that would be, because I couldn't think of anything, and I wanted to make this video. I didn't want to sit here and keep thinking about it. I wanted to move on with actually doing the video. So we have Wispy Woods Apple. This is an item that it will hurt you, but you can also use it to your advantage, and also it's, you know, it looks yummy. So it's not as bad as the lowest tier, which is a bomb. The bomb will hurt you, and also it's a bomb. So, you know, it's just the worst that you can do. You can use it as a weapon too, just like you can the Wispy Woods Apple, but I'm pretty sure the bomb hurts you worse. I could be wrong about that. This whole thing is just me saying I could be wrong about that, but you know, I could be wrong about a lot.
It's a strong possibility.
And with those inspiring words of confidence, let's actually get into the ranking portion of this video. Oh, there's one final thing I do want to say that it reminded me right before we started. I want to say thank you to that Chuck59 who designed this list. So thank you, that Chuck59, for designing this list, so I didn't have to.
Preach.
All right, now we can move on with the ranking. Let's start with normal. I actually don't know why this one's included on the list, because it's not really a copy ability, but it is baseline Kirby. So we're gonna put Kirby right in the middle, because remember, we're ranking it on copy ability fun. So if I'm ranking this based on how fun it is to just play normal Kirby and use the stars as weapons, you know, inhale the stars and exhale them and hurt things, I'd say that's mid-level fun. I like it, I don't love it. I prefer other copy abilities, but I actually prefer normal over some other copy abilities, so.
So there you go.
Next up we have Backdrop. Now I'm pretty sure Backdrop is a new one to me in this game. Was it in Dreamland? If it was, I can't remember it. No, obviously not, because it didn't have copy abilities in Dreamland. Retracted. I don't think it was in any of the other games I played either. Return to Dreamland, which I don't think it was in that one. Forgotten World, it wasn't in that one. So this is my first introduction to Backdrop, and I've got to be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan. I think the concept is really fun. I love the idea of it, but the execution I could not get behind because I was bad at it. And if I'm bad at it, then I don't enjoy doing it. So if you've watched me play this game, then you know a lot of these are gonna actually be pretty low on the list.
This does not bode well.
I just find it a little bit finicky to use, if I'm being honest. I think it's a little persnickety. And for that, I'm putting it in the Wispy Woods apple. It's not as bad as it could be, but I think it could have been better. Up next, we have Ball. And Ball, I had an entire part of the game where I tried to figure out how to use it, and I couldn't figure out how to use it. And then I was told how to use it in the comments, and I tried to use it, and I could barely get it to work. Now, of course, that's just a me problem, right? I'm the one that struggled to make this work, but as a result, I didn't have a lot of fun with it. I wasn't able to use it very defensively, and I kind of had trouble controlling its movements, right? When Kirby became Ball, he became erratic, and it was much harder to control him, and I just wanted him to just stay still.
Stop moving around.
I did not enjoy using Ball at all. Ball is gonna be the bomb for me, but in the bad way, a bad bomb. Next up, we have Beam. Now, Beam is a fun one for me because it just is, it's a nice distance weapon without being fully distance. You have to be close enough, but it has a good amount of range for being a non-range weapon. I really like Beam. Do I love it enough to give it 1-up status? Not quite. I think it's Maxim Tomato, but almost 1-up. I think if it was even longer, if it had even more range. No, you know what? Actually, I think if the recharge time between beam, like between swings of the beam, if those were shorter, I think I would like it more. But he's kind of gentle with the beam, right? He kind of swings it like one of those ribbons that you use for performing. And while those are very nice to look at, I want it more to be like a whip. A whip made out of lasers.
Holy shit, that's awesome!
So that's why I think it's in Maxim Tomato instead of being fully put in the 1-up slot. Now, Crash. Crash, on the other hand, we're putting Crash in the 1-up slot. I love Crash. I think it's so much fun. There is something very, very satisfying about taking out every enemy in the room. And that is just so much fun. But also what's fun about it is watching Kirby he crashes out, y'all. He goes fucking bananas. This is Kirby at his maximum bananas. Do it, Kirb. Go bananas.
Do it.
Kirb.
Go bananas.
Is this what you want? Are you happy now?
And that's so funny to me. That is hilarious. I love Crash because it's like, you know what it is? It's Kirby throwing a tantrum. And his tantrum is so powerful that it kills people. He throws deadly tantrums. How hilarious is that? That's so funny to me. Genuinely, that is so funny to me. Next up, we have Cutter. Cutter, I think I enjoy more in later games. I didn't quite enjoy it as much in this game as I did in other games. I feel like in later games, it has a bit more range and a bit more damage, maybe? I don't know. It just feels more powerful. But in this game, it's kind of just mid for me. So I think I'm just gonna put it right in energy drink. It's a mid power, it goes in the mid tier.
You basic.
Fire is another one that I think is more enjoyable in later games. It just has more stuff going on with it in later games than it does in this initial run. This is the first game with copy abilities, so you know, they are testing everything out in this game. And I understand that, so I cut it a lot of slack. But it's just not one that I'm like, oh yes, fire, when I get it. There are other ones that I'm far more excited about receiving. So for that, we're gonna put it next to Cutter in the energy drink slot. Next up, we have another fun one. We have Fireball. Now, I do know that in later games, Fireball is renamed to be Burning, but I'm not going to call it that in this one because it was called Fireball in this game, so that's what I'm calling it.
What are you gonna do about it? Nothing! That's what!
And Fireball, I think, is so much fun. It is exactly what it says on the tin. It's a ball of fire, and you become just a raging Kerbal machine. It's wonderful. That being said, if you aren't careful and you aren't paying attention to the amount of distance that Fireball can cover when you use it, you can land right on an enemy and not damage the enemy, but the enemy will damage you instead. That is not ever a fun experience to have. But that's something that you can kind of get used to. The more you use Fireball, the more you get used to the pattern of playing it. And so you're kind of able to adjust for that. So with that in mind, I really do think it belongs in the Maxim Tomato category.
You made a full and convincing case.
If I was just limitless power Fireball, that would be a different story, but that would be a much easier power to have, so I understand why they didn't just make it limitless. Next, we have Freeze. I actually quite like Freeze in this game. I quite like the way that you can use this power to freeze an enemy and then use that frozen enemy to get others. I really appreciate that. And there's something very fun about the way that it kind of slides when you push the block. And I don't know, I think it's pretty fun. It's a pretty solid one. I'm gonna give it Maxim Tomato. Now here's a power I really love in later games. I love Hammer in later games. I think it's so much fun. That being said, this game, there are definite drawbacks. It seems like it's pretty weak, actually. It doesn't seem to have a lot of impact. And it has a really limited range. It's a very close range weapon. And that makes it so you pretty much have to be right on top of an enemy before you can use it, and if you are like me with a slow reaction time, it just makes it not very fun.
Sounds like a you problem.
Later games, the range is increased, not even that much, it's just a little bit. It's just a little bit of an increase, but it offers enough distance that you can get the enemy before it's right up on top of you. And that breathing room is really all you need. So if the hammer was more like it is in later games, I would be more willing to put it higher on this list. But as it is, I think I'm gonna have to put it in the Wispy Woods apple. It's not my favorite to play with in this game. I find it to be quite frustrating, actually. Now we have High Jump. And High Jump is a perfect example of a power that might not be as damaging if you don't use it well enough. And even if you don't use it well enough, it's still pretty fun to use.
What?
And if you do know how to use it, then you can actually do quite a bit of damage to those near you, and you can steer Kirby fairly well, all things considered. But for me, I've never been able to do that. And even considering that, I still find it to be super fun. Okay, Maxim Tomato. Putting a lot of things in Maxim Tomato, but that's where they belong. Now next up we have Ice, which is almost identical to Freeze, except for, if I'm understanding correctly, Freeze, you stand still and emit icy blasts of coldness, and that freezes the enemy, and then with Ice, you blow icy blasts of coldness, like a cold breath, and that's what freezes the enemy.
That was very eloquent.
I'm pretty sure ice comes with a bit more freedom of movement, if I'm not mistaken. However, the funness of both of them, for me, is that when you freeze the enemy, you can then push them into other enemies. That's the fun part for me. So how you get them frozen, it's kind of neither here nor there. I don't really care. So I'm gonna stick ice right where I stuck freeze. I think it belongs right there. They're basically the same thing in terms of what I find to be most fun about them.
Fair enough.
Now we have laser, and I'm quite fond of laser because it's a pretty good ranged weapon. It allows you to do quite a bit of damage from fairly far away, and I do appreciate that. But mostly, it makes me feel like Kirby goes pew, 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 pew every time he fires it, and I enjoy that. Do I one-up enjoy it? No, but Maxim Tomato enjoy it. Damn, I am so I'm way too generous with this list. You know what? Sue me.
Or don't.
Okay, now we have a copy ability that I really did not understand the point of. And I get it now, now that I finally understand how to use it properly, but I understand why it's not a huge copy ability in later games, let's just put it that way. It's definitely not the most fun to use, mainly because all it involves is hitting a button and then that's it. If you haven't guessed by now, I'm talking about light, and I'm sure you have guessed by now because I'm gonna put accompanying imagery to it, so you'll have seen that it's light. It's a really basic ability. You have a button you press and then the room becomes light, and that's it. And it's kind of boring in that respect. So I'm gonna put it with bomb. Sorry, light, but you just ain't doing it for me.
This bores me. You're boring.
Now we have Mike, and Mike is so funny to me. It literally is Kirby screaming into a microphone, and how could that not be funny? How could that not be the world's most hysterical thing? Answer, it is the world's most hysterical thing. It can't not be. That's the answer. Just like with Crash, it's a lot of fun to kill all of your enemies in one room. Now, to be fair, the mic has 3 charges and they're not as powerful as one Crash charge, but you do get the added benefit of having 3 charges, so it's kind of a trade-off. Either way, they're both super fun to use, and I'm definitely gonna have to stick Mike right up there with the 1-up.
That was an easy one.
Next up, we have Needle. Needle is an ability that, if I were rating it in later games, would be much higher on the list. Now, I can't remember if Needle does this in Return to Dreamland. I'm pretty sure it does, but I can't fully remember. But I do remember in the Forgotten Land, it had the ability to roll, so you would pick things up as you went, and that was a lot of fun. You would just collect stuff as you went, and you were like a little rolling hedgehog. It was adorable, and it was so much fun, and you could collect so much stuff. Alas, that is not how Needle is in this game. It's far more lackluster in this game. You basically have needles out, and then they protect you. You know, and you stick them out in your little needle at the end. It's not terrible, it's just not my favorite thing in the world. For that, I think I'm just gonna have to put it in the Wispy Woods apple.
It's pretty disappointing.
Now, I really love Parasol. I don't think I get to use it very often to the effect that it should be used, but when I am able to use it correctly, it's so much fun to use. I love being able to use it to gently float my way down like a round pink Mary Poppins, and everything's just so gentle when you're using Parasol. It's so much fun. I think I'm gonna have to put it in Maxim Tomato.
I gotta do it! I don't have a choice!
Now here's an ability that I just don't get. It's just a trap, right? In this game, it's straight up just a trap, because sleep does not offer any healing like it does in later games. And it doesn't offer any kind of benefit of any kind. And it can actually be really harmful to you if you inhale sleep at the wrong spot, because you immediately go to sleep. So if there's another enemy nearby, it will hurt you. So it's not even fun to use. There's no time to use it where it would be fun. So we're gonna have to stick sleep in the bomb category. But he sure looks so cute when he's sleeping.
What a cutie.
Now we have Spark. And a lot like Needle, Spark just doesn't offer a lot in the way of moving and protecting yourself. It's not the best when it comes to that. It feels limiting when you try to use it, and it's not as fun as it is in later games, which is a common complaint throughout this list. And I'm guessing throughout the history of the series, as they have continued to improve and update copy abilities. So, you know, I have the same feelings towards it as I do when I think of Needle, so I'm gonna stick it next to Needle in the Wispy Woods Apple category.
And that's where it belongs.
Now we have another ability that I don't think should technically be on this list. It's the Star Rod ability. I say it shouldn't be on this list because in my opinion, it's not really a copy ability. It's Kirby using the Star Rod. It's not him inhaling an enemy and copying its ability. It's him just using a tool. So I feel like that's different, you know? I know him using a tool is like half of these abilities. Like Hammer is him just using a tool. But it's just different. He stole that hammer. It feels different. I really did not enjoy the final boss battle in this game. And you could tell that pretty easily if you watched my final video of the series, but that doesn't really matter in this video. It's more about how I felt using the ability, and the fact of the matter is, I felt kind of meh about this ability.
M-E-H. Meh.
It was kind of fun being able to shoot stars from it. You know, it felt kind of fun at first, but it was also pretty one note for the entire time. It was just shooting stars and that was it. And there was no real build up. There was no using it beforehand. So it just kind of felt like, here's a new ability, use it right and have fun, I guess. I don't know. Its introduction felt sudden and unexpected, but not in a way that I was appreciative of. All that being said, I still didn't hate it. I'm not mad about it. I'm pretty mid-tier about it, honestly.
I can take it or leave it.
And now we have yet another ability that I think is way more fun in later games, Stone. I love Stone in later games. I love using it. It's so much fun. But in later games, it's not just stone. You're not just turning into a rock, that's what this is in this game. You are straight up just turning into a rock and that's it. In later games, he kind of slides a little bit, and that makes all the difference. It's just a little tiny slide, and it makes all the difference. In fact, I love later game Stone so much that the funness of this game's Stone is affected because of that. I was so disappointed in this game's version of Stone that it was less fun for me.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way.
I'm gonna have to put it in Bomb. As sad as I am to do that, because I do love Stone, but not in this game. Now we have Sword, and Sword, I have the same complaint about it in this game as I do with Hammer, which is that its range is a little too short in this game. You have to be right up close to the enemy to really get them, and it's just a little too close. It makes it not as fun because it feels like you swang when it was just a little too far away, and you didn't hit him, and then you swang a little too late, and it was too close at that point. And it feels like, I should have hit him. Why didn't that work? It becomes frustrating almost. I found myself annoyed more than I enjoyed playing with Sword. And they really did improve it. Again, in later games, they just added a little tiny more range to it. And you could hit enemies just a little bit further away, and that's all you needed. That's really all you needed.
It made all the difference.
So for now, I'm gonna have to put it with the Hammer in the Wispy Woods Apple category. Here's an ability I didn't use a lot. It's Throw. I just didn't use it a lot. It was fun when I had it, but it wasn't one that I gravitated to. It was definitely mid-tier for me. In fact, it's so mid-tier, I really don't have much else to say on the matter. I'm putting it in an energy drink. Let's move on. Now we have one of my all-time favorite abilities. It's Tornado. When I was struggling, almost couldn't do it in the arena, in Kirby's Return to Dreamland, I was told in the comments to use Tornado. And my god, did that save my butt. It's changed my life. I love Tornado. Tornado is my all-time favorite regular copy ability that isn't like Mike or Crash, that, you know, it's a one and done kind of deal, or a three and done kind of deal. Tornado it's powerful, but also it's just so, you know, fun. You get to fly all around the screen and you hit everything in your path and you're just a tornado. You really are. I love it.
Oh my god, it's the best. It's the best.
That's a one-up for sure for me. Now we have another ability that's new to me. It's the UFO. I want to say that UFO does not make an appearance in Return to Dreamland. It certainly doesn't in the Forgotten Land. And so it was a new ability to me, unless I forgot it in Return to Dreamland, which doesn't seem likely to me. I think it wasn't in there. If it wasn't as memorable to me as it was in this game, because in this game I found it to be so much fun. I found it to be just a hoot and a half.
A what now?
I truly do love that power for its ability to make Kirby fly around the screen, and he floats there effortlessly. It really does feel like he's a UFO. I love it. That's a one-up tier for me. Now we have Wheel. Wheel is new to me as well, although you kind of become Wheel when you inhale a car in the Forgotten Land, but I don't think it really counts.
No, not really, no.
I really enjoyed playing as Wheel. I thought it was a lot of fun, but I also thought it was kind of irritating how environment dependent it was. Obviously, you needed just an uninterrupted course, right? So you could run over all of your enemies. But there wasn't a lot of that in the game, right? You had to jump a lot, and there were a lot of gaps and stuff, and so you weren't able to use it to the full effect that I thought you should be able to use it to. I found myself enjoying Wheel more at the start of the game when I was first introduced to it than I was by the end of the game. By the end of the game, I was frustrated when I got it instead of what I found to be a more ranged ability. And it is funny because it does have the unlimitlessness that I wanted with Fireball. It doesn't stop until you hit an obstacle, but with that, it's on the ground. And so if Fireball had Wheel's ability to just never run out, then it would be the perfect ability.
That's a dream.
And if Wheel had the ability to skip over larger gaps than it did, it would be an unrealistic power for one, but for two, it would be more fun for me. As it is, I think I'm gonna have to put it in the energy drink. It's not the worst, but it's not my favorite either. And finally, we're gonna end with another ability that's not quite an ability. It's the hyper ability. I don't understand how it's really a copy ability because, again, you're not copying anything. Just like with my complaint with the Star Rod, you're not actually copying anything. Clearly what happens in this scenario is that Kirby eats a lollipop and then has so much sugar that he gets hyper. Side note, apparently that's a myth that's been disproven. Don't quote me on that, but, you know. But the same reason that I find Crash fun is the same reason I find Hyper fun. It's because Kirby basically throws a violent tantrum and kills everything in his path. And if that's not hilarious, I don't know what is.
Is this what you wanted? Me going bananas!
So we're gonna put that in the one-up category. And there we have it, folks. Definitive proof that more copy abilities in this game are fun than there are not fun copy abilities. I am not surprised by these results. I am a little surprised that more weren't on the lower end, but I'm not surprised that it was top heavy. It's also good to know that several of the abilities that I don't find fun in this game, I actually find a lot of fun in later games, and the ones that I don't find fun probably weren't in them, to be honest. Or if they are in them, they're, you know, changed in drastic ways. And that really does make all the difference, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Well, that's it, folks. I had a blast playing this game. A frustrating blast, but a blast nonetheless. And I'm glad I played it. It was adorable and it was great to see Kirby's roots. And thanks for checking out this video. Hopefully you agree with me, and if not, well, tell me why in the comments. And come back later for another Kirby series. I'm sure I'll play another Kirby game on this channel. In fact, it's a guarantee. I just don't know which one yet. Actually, I think I have an idea of which one too, but I won't say that in case I'm wrong and I change my mind. But you'll have to come back and find out which game I choose. And until then, if you made it this far, thank you so much for joining me today. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. If you liked this video, hit that like button. If you hated this video, hit that dislike button. And either way, hit subscribe. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-zy daisies!